The Price Action Trading Box Manager Expert Advisor, which has been comprehensively provided on the TradingFinder website for various trading platforms, allows you to easily download the expert file for popular platforms like MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 and then seamlessly use it on your desired trading chart. Additionally, experienced traders can thoroughly study this informative page to gain a deeper understanding of the full functionality and precise operation of this powerful expert advisor. From the Navigator section, we carefully select the expert file and, by precisely dragging the file onto the active chart, we effectively activate the expert. At the bottom of the interface, we meticulously enable the Allow Algo Trading option, and then we promptly click the Confirm button to finalize the activation. Once the expert is successfully activated on the chart, a comprehensive strategy and capital management panel is clearly displayed for the chart. The Price Action Trading Box Manager Expert is indeed a unique and highly practical tool specifically designed for dedicated price action traders, allowing them to efficiently execute their trades based on various price action scenarios by utilizing this expert. By gently moving the mouse cursor over the top section of the panel and then clicking on it, you can effortlessly move the entire expert panel around the chart. Also, in the top section of the panel, there are two distinct options. By clicking the first option, the expert conveniently remains active on the chart, and by clicking the second option, the expert gracefully closes and is completely removed from the chart. Additionally, by clicking the top left button, the expert panel is effectively minimized and resized to its smallest possible size, and by clicking again, the expert panel smoothly returns to its default display. At the bottom of the panel, there are 6 different and distinct trading strategies that you can readily use to execute your trades and confidently enter buy or sell positions on your chart. In the middle section, you can clearly see the distinctive logo of each individual strategy. The very first strategy is fundamentally based on the well-known double top and double bottom pattern. By clicking on the next column, which is the informative info column, you can thoroughly review how the strategy is precisely executed, with further detailed explanations and illustrative images thoughtfully provided here. The second strategy is the double top and bottom pattern with extended price zones, and by enabling this specific section, you can comprehensively review its detailed operation. The third strategy is the double top and bottom pattern with a return to the significant support or resistance zone. The fourth pattern is the classic head and shoulders pattern. The fifth is the QM pattern strategy. Finally, the sixth strategy is the resistance or support reversal pattern. In the next column, the CP checkpoint section is thoughtfully provided, which effectively acts as a crucial checkpoint here. For each individual trading strategy, you can easily enable or disable this valuable feature, and astute traders can effectively use this section as a powerful filter for executing their trading strategies. Before executing a strategy, by enabling any of these options for the desired strategy, you can activate the CP or checkpoint for them. By enabling this section, a limited set or specific zone is activated for you, and only if the price reaches that designated set and then returns from that zone, the strategy will be executed. Otherwise, if the price does not reach the specified level, the strategy will not be executed. The next column is considered as the S or sweep column, which, by enabling this section, activates a strict filter for executing the trading strategy. By enabling any of these options for the desired strategy, the strategy will be executed for you. In the last column, you can carefully select the type of buy or sell position for each strategy. At the bottom section, you can efficiently manage your money management, so for executing each strategy, you can choose to execute trades based on a fixed lot or based on a percentage of your balance. You can specify the strategy to be executed and participate in the trade. By default, it is set to fixed lot, and in the box, you can specify the lot percentage you want to participate in the trade with, which by default is set to 100 microlots. The second option is based on a percentage of your balance, and if selected, trades will be executed according to the percentage you specify. By default, it is set to 1% of the balance, but you can enter your desired amount here for each type of money management and capital management. For example, if I enter a number here, 1% of my balance will be used for each strategy and trade. So if my balance is $10,000, 1% of the balance means the strategy will execute with $100. The next option is related to risk-reward. By enabling this section, all the strategies that are executed for us will be based on risk-reward, and my main setting will be as a risk limit, and it will be executed based on risk. The default risk amount is set to 2, meaning a risk-reward ratio of 1.2 will be applied for us, but we can also change this value for our strategy system. In the news section, there is also a news filter option. By enabling this option, we can set a time restriction in a box to prevent trades from being executed during news releases. If I meticulously set the specific value to 30 here, the expert advisor will effectively prevent the complete execution of any strategies and all trades for a full 30 minutes before and an additional 30 minutes after the highly anticipated release of significant, high-impact economic news on the well-known Forex Factory website. This critically means that if we genuinely intend to execute any trades or actively run our established strategy during this particular period, the system will deliberately block them to proactively avoid the potential for extreme market volatility at the precise time of the news release. Just make sure to carefully note that if you enable this particular option, you will then need to proceed to the Tools tab, subsequently select the options, then meticulously navigate to the Expert Advisors tab, and from here you must activate the Allow Web Request option. In the designated section directly below, you should precisely enter the complete and accurate URL for the official Forex Factory website. The address you will need is nfs.faireconomy.media.jos, which you can also conveniently copy directly from the official website and then paste it into the designated field here and subsequently click the Confirm button to proceed. In this section, I will go through all the strategies one by one, demonstrating both buy and sell modes, and I will explain how each mode works. The first significant strategy that we will be discussing is the double top and double bottom chart pattern. When you click on the buy option, a clearly defined range will be displayed for you, and by simply clicking on this particular range, you can then effortlessly move it and precisely place it on your absolutely desired range and swing movement. At the bottom, two options become active. If you select no, the strategy will be cancelled, and if you select yes, the strategy will be executed and will wait for the next instructions from the expert advisor. Here I click on the no option. In this particular section, I will carefully select the sell strategy mode and then proceed to run a comprehensive example on the historical data of the chart, observing its performance over time. In this section, I set the range here, and we can also review how the strategy works here with its explanations provided here, and the way the strategy is executed is also shown in the image here. In this image, we can see that the price is in an uptrend and enters the resistance range from the lower part of the range, which is where our first step takes place. As we can see in this part as well, the price has moved upward and entered the resistance range here. In the second step, the expert waits for the price to exit the range, and here we can see that it has exited the range. In the third crucial step of this trading strategy, the expert meticulously waits for the price to precisely enter the designated zone area. This zone is a predefined region on the chart that signifies a potential area of interest for trading activity. Subsequently, in the final and equally important stage, the expert also patiently waits for the price to definitively exit this very same zone area. This exit confirms a specific market condition. To illustrate this, if we carefully draw the range like this on the chart, we can clearly observe that the price has initially exited this established range. Following this, it has then returned back into the range. The strategy dictates that if the price exits the range once more, and crucially, if the candle closes definitively outside of this range, then the strategy will be immediately executed. Upon execution, a sell position will be promptly opened in the market, capitalizing on the confirmed price action. The prominent green line distinctly represents the sophisticated sweep filter, which, if we have meticulously activated the crucial sweep option for any particular trading strategy before diligently executing it, then consequentially applies a significantly stricter and more rigorous filter for us. This specific strategy will only be precisely executed if the price action moves decisively upward and comprehensively sweeps our primary and designated main range, and then subsequently moves clearly downward and definitively exits the established range. And if we have defined the range in this way, and the price moves upward, if it does not sweep the range and then moves downward, the trade will not be executed for us. Also, at the bottom in the Terminal section, specifically located under the Experts tab, we can thoroughly review and observe precisely how the strategy is currently performing. Here, when I meticulously run the automated trading strategy, the relevant message pertaining to the successful execution of this particular strategy is clearly and comprehensively displayed for me within this dedicated section. In the next option, we can see that it gives us this notification. The price has entered the strategy's range. In the next step, it moves out of the strategy zone. Then, for the second time, it enters the strategic zone again, and finally, it shows us the CP and sweep options here, which automatically reviews these items for us. If these two particular options are currently disabled, by default the system inherently considers them as already confirmed and then patiently waits for the prevailing price to completely exit the specified range. As we can clearly observe here, the system meticulously checks this condition every 5 precise seconds, and if the current price definitively leaves the predetermined range, the trade will be automatically and promptly executed for us, ensuring timely action. However, because we are running the strategy on historical chart data, the trade will not be executed for us, and if I remove the range from the chart, it will display a message indicating that the strategy has been cancelled, where we can see missing object here. To execute the buy mode, which is a key operational aspect, it's exactly the same as you clearly observe and comprehend here. I meticulously place the designated trading range within this specific section, ensuring precise positioning for optimal analysis. Subsequently, on the comprehensive chart, based on the dynamically generated zigzag lines that accurately and efficiently identify the significant swing highs and prominent swing lows for us, providing invaluable market insights, we can effectively and confidently run our sophisticated trading strategy, leveraging these identified points for informed decision-making. In this particular part of the demonstration, I carefully place the designated range precisely here, and in this manner, if I proceed to click the Confirm option, it automatically sets the specified range for me, subsequently displays the relevant ideas, and then patiently waits for the comprehensive strategy to be successfully executed on the chart. The algorithm and the precise execution of this strategy are also based on the established zone range, and the expert meticulously checks that, in the specific area where we have set the zone range, the price must be significantly ahead of that range. And for example, if I meticulously set this specific range, defining its precise boundaries and parameters, the expert advisor will then, from the very moment I meticulously define this particular range, that is, precisely from the designated left side level and the carefully established time span that has been thoughtfully set, proceed to comprehensively compare it with the current price's time. This comparison involves a continuous and thorough evaluation of the market conditions, and if, at the current time, the price action decisively moves out of the confines of this predefined and carefully monitored range, indicating a significant deviation from the expected parameters, the expert advisor will then promptly and automatically execute the predetermined strategy, initiating the necessary actions based on the established trading rules and conditions. Otherwise, if we meticulously set the trading strategy in the distant past on our comprehensive chart, when the market price subsequently moves completely out of the predefined and established range, it will definitively not execute the specified strategy for us at all and will instead only patiently wait to thoroughly check for the precise and accurate execution of the strategy. One crucial point you should always keep firmly in mind for effectively executing this particular strategy. Here, I am deliberately moving the current price action toward this very specific and predetermined point in time. A suitable example is provided here. So, if the price successfully enters the designated trading range and subsequently, after a period of consolidation or fluctuation, exits this established range, perhaps by pulling back strategically to the very edge of the range and then moving definitively out of its boundaries, this specific sequence of events will effectively and automatically execute the range for us, confirming the intended market action and fulfilling the criteria for our trading strategy. If I were to place the trading range incorrectly in this specific area, we would immediately observe the prominent broken message, clearly indicating an issue with the input. Conversely, if I meticulously place the absolutely correct and appropriate trading range precisely here, a comprehensive and reassuring message confirming the successful implementation of our chosen strategy will be prominently displayed for us right here, providing clear validation of our actions. However, in an alternative scenario, if I were to set the trading range in this particular manner, or if the price action were to move completely outside of my predefined range, either in an upward direction or a downward direction, then this established range would definitively be considered broken. Only the very tips of the wicks are permissibly allowed to briefly exit the confines of the range and subsequently return to it, and it is absolutely crucial that the body of the candle itself must close entirely within the boundaries of the specified range. You should keep in mind that this strategy and this expert advisor are highly flexible in executing trades. For example, here I have defined the range and set the strategy. I can easily make my own trading range significantly smaller, then precisely drag and drop it to my desired area on the chart, and the expert advisor will meticulously check the entire setup once from the very start. If it receives a clear confirmation, it will then automatically execute the trading setup for me. For example, here I am making the current range considerably smaller, and if the price subsequently moves upward, this defined range will be automatically moved for me. Here, I can also extend the range and expand it further upward so that in the next confirmation cycle, the entire setup will be reconfirmed for me again. The next crucial point that the bot should pay very close attention to is precisely how to execute the actual trades. If I confirm the current range here and the price then returns to this specific range after at most 5 distinct swing opportunities, the trading strategy will be successfully executed for me. Otherwise, if it takes more than 5 swings to return, the strategy will unfortunately fail and no trades will be executed for me at all. Also, if the price returns to the range and after a brief pullback, it then leaves the range after at most 10 candles, the strategy will be executed for me. Otherwise, the strategy will not be executed. Similarly, if we have a buy setup, here is a clear example where the strategy specifically considers buy trades for me. For the buy setup, the bot sends me a detailed message indicating that all the necessary confirmations for executing this particular strategy have been successfully issued. So, the second strategy, which is specifically called the pattern strategy derived from highs and lows with defined price zones, works as follows. Its detailed method is thoroughly explained here. In the first crucial step, the price enters a designated resistance or support zone. In the second step, it must then clearly exit that initial zone. In the third step, it must then enter the second resistance or support zone. Finally, by exiting this second zone, the entire setup will be executed for me. Also, by enabling the sweep filter option, only if the main or the second zone is swept and then exited, the setup will be executed for me. Here, I will give a practical example. If you mistakenly select 2 zones together and consequently have trouble executing trades, there is absolutely no need to worry. By simply holding the mouse cursor over the zone, you can clearly see the name of the zone and whether it is Zone 1 or Zone 2. Here we clearly see Zone 2 and the second resistance zone. In this specific section, Zone 1 and the first resistance zone are also clearly shown. We also have the advanced ability to place 2 zones inside each other and execute the strategy based on the precise method of trading. Here, we observe the price entering the first resistance zone, then moving downward, pulling back to the resistance zone, and finally exiting it. Here, the limited trade option is also valid, and we see that the price entered the zone, then exited it, and here again entered the second zone, and the CP and sweep confirmations are clearly shown. For the buy setup in this particular strategy, it specifically means that 2 distinct green zones have been successfully created for this current range. This specific range is clearly considered as the primary first zone, and this distinct part is precisely considered as the secondary second zone. This fundamentally means that the crucial strategy confirmation signal for me is when the price definitively exits the first zone and subsequently enters the second zone, and the essential CPU confirmations are also prominently displayed. If I actively activate the CPU signal here and then carefully select this particular option, the sophisticated strategy will then visually show me the designated CPU zone inside the second zone, and the second zone will always be continuously displayed, so I can confidently base my trades and overall strategy on this vital information. For example, if we define a specific range within this particular section, I meticulously set the precise CP range here, carefully defining the parameters and boundaries. Subsequently, when the strategy is formally executed, a qualified expert promptly arrives to thoroughly review and verify its implementation, ensuring everything is functioning correctly. The price enters the range, exits it, and enters again, but does not reach the CP level. Here, it does not display the CP confirmations for us. But if I were to move the entire range significantly upward, we would clearly see that after the expert thoroughly checks and verifies it here, it subsequently gives us the crucial CP and sweep confirmations, and if the price then completely exits the defined range, the trade will be automatically executed for us without any further manual intervention. However, if we have previously defined a very specific trading range, and I have meticulously set the CP control point level within that range, then if the market price does not manage to reach this predetermined CP level and subsequently exits the defined range, the trading strategy will absolutely not be executed for me, and consequently, no trade will be placed at all. Also, it is very important to always keep in mind that if we were to remove a specific range from the two existing ranges, the entire strategy would then be completely cancelled for us, and a clear missing object message would be prominently displayed to indicate this significant change. The third strategy is called the pattern of top and bottom with a return to the support or resistance zone. Its mechanism works as follows. When the price moves toward the first range, exits the second range, enters the first range, and finally, if it exits the range, the strategy will be executed for us. In this section, if I can find a truly suitable range, then for example, we can use this range for the buy scenario, and by clicking the confirm option, the expert advisor will check the situation. In the first step, the price enters the range. In the second step, it exits the range and enters the second range. It exits the second range, enters the first range, and finally, if it exits the range, the strategy will be executed for us. You must pay very close attention to this crucial point. On the journey from the initial first range to the subsequent second range, a maximum of precisely 5 distinct swings should occur. If, for any reason, we happen to exceed these 5 permissible swings, then the trading strategy will absolutely not be executed for us, and it will be automatically invalidated. Conversely, if there are fewer than 5 swings, that is perfectly fine and entirely acceptable. In fact, this is actually the most ideal and optimal scenario we could hope for. However, if exactly 5 swings occur, for example, if we wish to thoroughly demonstrate this concept with a practical and clear example here, we can proceed. For example, in this particular section, we are delving into a comprehensive analysis of the foundational principles that underpin the entire framework. This segment is specifically designed to provide an in-depth exploration of the key concepts and methodologies that will be referenced throughout the subsequent parts of this presentation or document. We will meticulously examine various aspects, including the historical context, the theoretical underpinnings, and the practical applications of the subject matter. Furthermore, this section will serve as a crucial building block, laying the groundwork for more advanced discussions and complex scenarios that will be introduced later. It is imperative to grasp the nuances presented here as they form the essential bedrock upon which all subsequent understanding will be constructed. Consider this a deep dive into the core mechanics, ensuring that every participant or reader has a solid and robust comprehension before moving forward. We will illustrate these points with relevant examples and case studies to solidify understanding and provide practical insights into how these principles manifest in real-world applications. The aim is to ensure a thorough and complete understanding of the fundamental elements discussed within this specific part of the content. If the price moves out of the range, it has a maximum of 5 swings as an opportunity. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you enter the range on the 5th swing, there is no problem. But if you enter the range on the 6th swing, the strategy will fail for us. The next point you must definitely pay attention to. Is this the total number of individual candles that are currently attempting to exit the defined range or boundary?